Welcome back, everybody, to Bite-Sized Thursday, a subsidiary of Slate Media. We're coming at you again with the penultimate episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. To Scott, to Pilgrim. Wonderful Tokyo Drift in this. Or, I'm sorry, it'd be Toronto Drift.
Toronto Drift. So we have the Scott and the Pilgrim, to Scott, to Pilgrim, the Scott and the Pilgrim, Toronto Drift, Scott and Pilgrim, Fast Scott.
Keep it going.
Scott and Pilgrim 6, Pilgrim 7, The Fate of the Pilgrim, S9, Scott X.
Sorry, that's SP9.
No, it's just the one because it's F9. It's just one word, so it's
Is
S9.
Scott X the one where he goes to space?
No, that's where he meets up with Zach and Miri.
Ah, there you go.
Oh, man. Okay, so what do we remember from this episode? Do we even want to talk about what we remember? Because it kind of...
Yeah, I think to get into spoilery, I think this is where older Scott, who is a character from the future, voiced by, I think it's Will Forte.
Sounds right.
It is revealed to be behind everything and is like kind of the reason everything has happened. And it's because something about he like set up the League because he's an evil ex, and he set up them in the past to do something because she like dumped him or something in the future or something.
The comment I cut myself off from making at the end of last episode when introducing this episode, I in part cut myself off about because I realized mid-sentence that I was mistaken, but I'm going to follow it through for the sake of continuity. To Scott, to Pilgrim, I was going to make the joke that it's a time jump, much like Too Fast, Too Furious, and I realized mid-sentence that, in fact, the time jump was in Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, that's right, because Tokyo Drift takes place during the 7th movie.
Am I the only person in this room that has not seen Tokyo Drift?
Yes.
It's the
Yay.
worst.
I win.
Answered.
I win for once.
Yeah, I'm remembering the time jump. I'm remembering that the feeling of the bleak dystopian future is similar to the future as portrayed in Space Quest 4, one of the video games I grew up with and deeply loved.
Are we talking about Tokyo Drift still, or are we talking about Scott Pilgrim?
We're talking about Space Quest.
Keep up.
He said it. I don't even know what it is. He's talking about Space Quest 4.
As it relates to this episode of Scott Pilgrim.
I'm going to assume that means that movie with Tim Allen.
No, that was Galaxy Quest. Space Quest was a video game series made by the fine folks at Sierra, not to be confused with their other game series, Police Quest or King's Quest.
Or NASCAR.
Or Leisure Suit Larry, but that was a whole different ball of wax.
I remember Leisure Suit Larry. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The early 2000s were a time, Jared. If only...
I was there.
Space Quest 4 was like 1992.
Yeah, but Leisure Suit Larry was like early 2000s.
It was like 1982 until 98. Anyway, there was 7 or 8 games in the series.
Leisure Suit Larry?
Yes.
The one for Xbox was
There was
early
one
2000s.
for Xbox?
Yeah. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, no, there were...
He has a lot of suits.
There were 8 or 9... Well, I think they ended with 8 or 9, but then it's confusing because Game 3 didn't exist. It jumped from 2 to 4. Okay.
I wonder if 3 was... No, because that wouldn't make sense with the timeline. I was going to say if 3 was the Xbox one.
No. Okay, yeah, that was much later, and I think Sierra might have been out of business by then.
All I know is that Sierra developed the NASCAR games.
And then
they're making another left
collaborated
turn
with Honda.
You're probably not wrong.
I think that's a local... Well, I think isn't the Sierra Honda a local thing, like a location? You drive a Honda.
In any case.
Geography is my Achilles foot.
Space Quest 4, the character jumps to a bleak dystopian future with cyborgs and bad nonsense, but it's also humorous, and it reminds me in tone of what I remember of this episode. But I guess we'll see how that memory holds up.
While we're talking about video games, I got to talk about a video game that I always talk on here, and neither one of you two can remember it.
Is it Battletoads?
No, that's not what I was going to talk about. That game makes me rage.
That's correct.
Do you remember Rebel Assault 2?
I had the demo of that game came on a disc that was packaged with my joystick when I bought it.
I'll accept that. I had the full game. It was very frustrating. Similar to Battletoads. Ironically, on a level that had a speeder.
There you go.
All right, I'm ready to go watch the Scott Pilgrim episode now.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody else ready?
Yeah.
Let's take off. Welcome back, everybody. We just watched the penultimate episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off to Scott to Pilgrim. What an episode. What an episode. What an episode. It's weird in a show that has been mostly character development to get two information dumps, two plot dumps right in a row and have it work.
Yeah. Makes sense for how much we're sitting around hanging out as she's trying to figure stuff out. And then in this one, it's like, okay, we've done enough of everything. We're pulling everything together. So, and when they drop that reveal at the end of the last episode, it's like, wow, we're kind of in full motion again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Crap.
This is one of the first episodes that was pretty much exactly what I remembered it being.
Yeah, I remembered them being in the kitchen and Wallace mixing drinks for them. That's like what I remembered from the episode.
One of the biggest things that while having largely remembered it, the one thing I forgot entirely was the new song that he makes with the twins, which is deeply good. I'm very happy to have rediscovered that.
I wonder if that's one of the singles on the album. I bet you it is.
It better be.
I wonder if that's actually Will Forte singing.
I'd hope it's Will Forte singing. He always plays those like those roles where he puts on his voice. I want to say crotchety, but he's younger than you guys.
I'm trying to think of who Will Forte, or like what he looks like.
Isn't he the one that in real life is the nephew of George Wendt? I think
no, that's Jason Sudeikis.
It sure is. You're right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
He's in a lot. He's. We
we
brought up MacGruber, or I brought up MacGruber the other day. He is MacGruber, if I recall.
Absolutely.
So he is not Lego Batman.
That's Will Arnett.
Okay.
I also got them mixed up back in the day, like pre-BoJack Horseman. I get them mixed up.
They're both from SNL originally, right?
Is Will Arnett from
Not
SNL?
to my knowledge,
I know.
but I can't rule it out.
Will Forte is definitely.
Yeah, I know. Arnett was married to Amy Poehler back in the day,
and he was in Arrested Development with
Yeah.
Michael Cera and
Yeah.
Mae Whitman.
That's right. I still have never finished that.
Well, what do you mean by
of,
finished? The original 3 or all 5?
Well,
There's 5.
I know.
there's 2
right?
Netflix seasons. What is it? 2015 and 2018 are when they came out.
Something.
I never got out of season 1, and I like it. It's just it's
TV is hard for you.
It matters. Like I'm watching as recording. It's Better Call Saul, and I'm almost done.
Wow.
Like I've watched Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul in the span of
how
a couple
long
months.
is it taking you to watch Smallville?
I started watching in 2017. I'm in season 3.
One of these days I'll catch up to you, and then you'll be beholden to our little agreement.
Yeah, it is funny that you made that agreement and then you haven't even started. And that agreement was like 4 years ago.
We made that agreement. I got given the 20th anniversary. Yes, it's been 20 years since that show started airing.
More than that now.
Well, more than that now, yeah.
Real quick for background, what is your half of this agreement?
My half was that I would catch up to him, and then his half was once I caught up to him, we would both watch one episode a week.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
To make sure I was watching, if that makes sense. To get me to at least watch an episode a week, which is not a problem. It's just when you don't have to do it, you're less inclined.
He needs to be motivated in some capacity. Somewhat similar to why he's watching Digimon. He's watching it to spite me.
Spite is a really good reason to do something.
Spite is God's greatest gift.
Just like pettiness. It's next to godliness.
It is next to godliness. Yeah. Yeah.
There were a lot of like weird intricacies in this episode that I didn't remember.
Such like.
The virtual boy.
I did
one.
like that it was a virtual boy.
I'm trying to think. Oh, the clear references to Walking Simulator. I mean Death Stranding. That is what Ramona is replicating in that, even down to the ground comes up and she steps in and goes down. I didn't realize that back when this first aired, but also this is not a criticism of the show. It's just kind of an interesting thought. When we have shows that do time jumps like this, particularly with animated shows, I think, why do the characters always have significantly different voices? Like, that is clearly not the same person.
Because they spend those 15 years in between chain smoking.
Yeah, I guess. Because, like, my voice...
But no one else was different in the future. I think that's the joke, is he's got, like, this older-sounding voice, but then everyone else is the same, which is, like, a reverse what you'd think it'd be. You'd think it'd be he's the same and everyone else has changed.
Well, especially when they set it up to he just can't move on from this stuff.
Maybe it's Michael Cera's voice just doesn't sound older.
Maybe.
Even though he's probably 40 when he recorded that.
Maybe.
I mean, he
I don't know, because like there's a couple of other properties that I can't think of right now that I've watched recently where I've been like, okay, his voice wouldn't... How I Met Your Mother is another one. The character is clearly different. Like, Mosby's voice wouldn't change in that time frame. Like, it's been 15 years. My voice has changed, but largely it is the same that it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's your voice. It subtly deepens as you age, but not enough to where a 15-year jump you're sounding completely different.
Yes, and Will Arnett's voice here, again, I'm not holding this against the show because, again, joke. Will Arnett's voice is actually higher, I think.
Other Will.
Sorry. Will Forte's voice is higher than Michael Cera's.
Yeah, but it's like it's a put-on voice, whereas Michael Cera is just Michael Cera.
This is fair.
So, again, the decision is... I wonder if it's also to differentiate the two better. So when we get to what happens in the next episode, it's easier to know who's talking. That could be it.
Yeah,
Something
because
as
they are
simple
kind
as
of
that.
in the same space.
Like a bunch of people aren't. It's like, okay, who's talking?
We're also focusing on a nothing point, really, in the context of...
But it is a decision that was consciously made when they were putting this together, that we want someone to voice different, because Scott also has a younger voice, and it's Finn Wolfhard. So it's all three stages of Scott in the show are a different voice, whereas the other people voice the character in any year. So that's part of it. There's got to be a reason why, and maybe next week they like state why in some way, but or it's just a creative decision to separate them.
Yeah. I also think that it's interesting this entire time, I don't think I've said it, but like it's interesting when you consider Ramona's character. Like, I think they've said it once. Why is she sticking around for a dude that she's dated once? And I think that it is an interesting way to backfill that when you have older Ramona saying he's the love of my life, like it gives you this kind of like they're intrinsically connected by this universe.
There were sparks.
That is very, but like the universal connection is like if you look at Brian Lee O'Malley's other works, it is very apparent that, you know, he has some level of belief in that.
That makes sense.
You ever read Seconds?
I haven't.
It's real interesting. I had to let you borrow it.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something about that. Oh, I know you haven't. Have you seen Honora?
I have.
Okay, so one of my biggest criticisms of Honora, without going too deep into it, is she's never really made into a character because she latches on to the marriage and that guy, the Russian kid. But we never figure out why, because that's the length she goes to hold on to that. Doesn't make sense because we're not given backstory or any kind of insight. So when I watch this and hear his thoughts about why Ramona sticks so hard to this, it is kind of similar.
Okay, fair.
Now the lengths they're both completely different pieces of media, and like one is trying to be grounded, and then this is clearly not. But it's a weird comparison there.
I could see that.
And I don't know if you felt that way about Honora's character in the movie. I don't love the movie all that much.
I think her motivations became increasingly clear towards the end. But I see the parallels you're drawing, certainly.
It's like, why put this much time and effort into something, whereas in this case, it's Ramona went out with him once, whereas in Nora, it's we don't understand why when the movie should at least allude to it, but we don't get anything. But it's an interesting correlation I was thinking about.
I think I've said it also a couple of times already. The interesting thing about Ramona is, for me, if you look at the media that character is in, I think about a similar sort of thing that you're saying is that they never make her a character. This makes her a character, but then when Scott comes back, it's
right back, reverts back.
Well, I don't want to say that really, because like being the title character, I think his presence in the show swallows up so much of that space that it's a nice little character moment when she said, no, he's the love of my life. Like his presence swallows it up. And then in that moment, it kind of funnels back to her.
Yeah. I've heard criticisms by people about the movie's version of Ramona compared to the comics because we don't have a lot of time. So her, like a lot of the side characters, get nerfed in comparison because of time constraints. But I've heard people say they don't like how she's only portrayed in like one light in the movie, because in the comics, when you have that more time, she is more complex of a character.
Mm-hmm.
And then this, I'm seeing what you're saying about this, where it does give her more, and then when he comes back, he just kind of swallows up the focus.
Yeah. I mean, and I probably rightfully so, because again, title character, and he's been missing, and we're wondering why and what's happened to him. But even like, I would say even in the comics, she's not she's not that deep of a character.
Yeah, comparatively, at least to other
like
the other characters, like
like
Kim or some of the exes.
Oh yeah, Kim.
There's so much there with Kim.
But I guess I also will admit that I guess I was wrong. I thought they brought Lisa into this. They totally don't.
No, I suppose not.
I thought that they did. Maybe she's in the last episode somewhere, but I could swear they brought Lisa in and they don't. That is one of the most compelling parts of this show that, for whatever reason, gets cut.
Yeah. I really like the Kim stuff, too, is it the fourth book or the fifth book where Kim moves back home out in the wilderness and Scott goes and visits her?
I think it's throughout.
No, there's like one part of a book where that is the change that happens, where like she's not living in Toronto anymore, and then he's like living somewhere where his parents put something like that, and he goes out there to visit, and that's when she reveals how he broke up with her, and that's like a big insight.
Oh, that would be in the 5th book then.
Okay. Yeah, I really like that section of the story,
Because
and it is a shame we don't get it in any other thing because of how
it's not
good
really,
it is.
Yeah, it's not really the focus, kind of like.
But it's important because I think, what did they? Someone once said it's like the books are about. How did they say it? I'm going to screw it up. It's like the movie's about like self-confidence, whereas the books are about becoming a better person. Because he doesn't really become a better person in the movie because
he largely ends the same that he started.
Yeah, and that's why it's like both end goals are different.
And then I would say that this is about, it's not just him that is a thing.
But it does kind of, like you said, it all comes back to him. He's that vacuum where once he's back in the story, it's a Scott story, and it has been this whole time, and it's all about him changing.
Well, and the funny thing is, they talk about she's been pursuing this and trying to figure it out, and we don't really see her figuring it out that much. I mean, she's going around to the evil exes, getting closure, but she doesn't really like figure out anything until all of a sudden she just knows it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you see her constantly pursuing it throughout and crossing the names off the list.
Yeah.
It's part of a process.
Yeah.
Are you saying because we didn't see her really solve it, it's just kind of an epiphany, and then she saw the footage?
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
And I think...
And I don't have a problem with it because of the character stuff in the other episodes, obviously. But I'm just saying that, like, it's not like it's a mystery that they're solving throughout the show. It's more like they're doing this character stuff, and the mystery is in the background.
It's like the mystery is the clothesline to hang all these character scenes and fights on, and the focus, as this episode revealed, isn't as much about her figuring it out. It's as much about how he sees through. Remember, he looked through the memories or whatever with the robot and sees how much she cares about him. Funny enough that she doesn't know him that well, but it's like he sees the work she puts in.
I think it's all three mediums, 4 or 5, I guess, if you count the games. What about the board games or the card or the deck building game? That's right, there's a
or
deck
the Chia
building
Pets.
game. There might be Chia Pets.
There probably is.
Google it. I think it's more about, how they're intrinsically linked and becoming a better person within that. And that doesn't necessarily supersede who you are as a person. Doesn't necessarily how do I want to say this? Who you are as a person doesn't necessarily supersede who you are linked with within the context of the universe, but life still changes.
Yeah. And life can be very sad, just like there are no Chia Pets for the Scott Pilgrim franchise.
Oh, no.
Yet.
Get on that, Jared.
You think I know the first thing about Chia Pets?
Get on that, Drew.
We're going to the hardware store today.
Engineer it.
We missed an opportunity in that episode to play the Weird Al song as they go to the hardware store. We really did. We already have Al narrating a documentary. We can't have hardware store off of Poodle Hat. That was out when this show takes place. That's 2003.
So we're saying that this takes place in 2003?
No, it takes place after 2003, for sure.
Okay.
Has to, because we were saying it's either the book or the movie, which is 04
again, in
to
my heart,
2010.
it takes place 2005-ish.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Weird Al album was out, so therefore, hardware store.
I do like the line of dialogue from this episode. The future's even more futuristic than they originally predicted. I'm a big fan of that.
Your husband works at Nintendo? Does he get all the games for free?
Oh, you forgot. You mean like the one that makes all the games?
No, the other one.
No, other
one. Oh, I knew I was right.
Yeah. Well, it's a good episode to set up, and knowing how the last episode ends. It's a good setup episode. We're already almost at the end.
I'm not really sure I can quantify how the last episode ends because now I remember the ending and I remember watching it and being like, I mean, I'm willing to accept it, but what?
Save it for the next episode.
Yeah.
Is it a longer episode? Do we know?
I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm gonna check because all of them have been about 25 to 28 minutes. I thought. I remember the
Which
last
is longer than an
being-
episode of Scrubs back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, that's network television for you.
Let's see. The last episode. No, 28. Yeah, they're all about the same length. So
Cool.
I couldn't remember. For some reason, I thought it was like 40 minutes. Like there's an extra like 10 minutes. But no, it's 28 minutes.
Holy crap! It's 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
When did that happen?
10 minutes ago.
Wow. Anyway, got any more thoughts on the penultimate episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off?
I do not, unless you want the Windsor Part 2 story.
Yes, go ahead. Windsor Part. Oh yeah, we got to reveal what movie we saw.
Although now that I'm thinking about the timeline, I'd have to go back and check the dates, but I think this might actually be Windsor Part 1 and Part 2 was Canada Part 2 was Toronto. I think this other trip was beforehand.
Are you sure?
There's simply no way of knowing.
Just
wait a minute. Yes, there is.
That's right. Drew keeps record of everywhere we've been.
I
Sounds like
keep a
someone else you
record
know.
of most elements of my life. All right, let me. Okay, it was the year prior to the Toronto trip,
Was it really?
circa 2K6.
I used to play that game.
Are we for real here?
For real. So it's like, hey, let's go to Canada because I think you had never been, or at least not within your memory, or
I had not been to Canada as an adult.
yeah. So it's like, hey, it's all of 10 minutes from my house. Let's go. Why? I don't know. Let's go see a movie.
No, Ottawa.
We're going to see a movie anyway. Why not see the movie in Canada? So this is when we're taking the tunnel across. Come out the tunnel. Your comment on our episode weeks ago at this point was that they only care on the way back to the U.S. This was very much not true.
I don't remember this.
Again, your whole I'm just sort of shut down when being questioned by someone in a position of authority. The guy asks what our business in Canada is, and your response was I wish I remembered it verbatim, but it was extremely non-committal. It's like I don't know.
That does sound like me.
It's like we're just coming over here. It's like, look, you are entering or trying to enter the second largest country in the world. You need to be a lot more specific about your business here. It's like, oh, you're gonna go see a movie. Do they not have movies in Michigan? Why do you have to come to Canada to do that? Because we also want to go to the mall
Let's go to the mall.
today. It's like, all right, well, go about your business. But he was like giving you a real hard time. And
That doesn't sound like a Canadian. It should be. So they don't have movies over there, eh?
And it was totally worth it, though, because we went over there to go to the Cineplex Odeon to see...
Oh, it was an Odeon den.
And it was to see what blockbuster, unforgettable motion picture, fun for the whole family,
Wait,
a
do you
true
want us to-
modern-day classic.
Do you want us to guess?
2006.
2006.
Wait. Why would I guess? I know.
Let's see. You went to see Zoom with Tim Allen.
I wish.
No.
Zathura. That might be.
That would have been much better.
It has a well-beloved star in his, I think... No, the follow-up. This is him coming off of having written, starred in, and I think maybe directed a motion picture of some critical acclaim that he's never really recaptured.
Is it Zach Braff?
It is Zach Braff.
Is it The
What?
Last Kiss?
It is The X.
The X, same thing, right?
No. The Last Kiss is better. Ish.
So the X.
Didn't it have Jennifer Aniston in it or something
No,
stupid
it had
like that?
Amanda Peet, I think.
There we go.
There it is again. The last couple years of my life, I keep running into Amanda Peet. Not in person, just like in things. And I'm like, remember Amanda Peet? And people just stare at me. They have no idea who this is. I go, you've seen Something's Gotta Give. She's one of the main characters. And they go, who? I go, you mean Diane Keaton? I go, no. I know who Diane Keaton is. It's Amanda Peet. Continue.
And that was a weird movie, too, because it was Charles Grodin's triumphant return to acting after, like, 10 years away.
Wow, he just keeps coming up, doesn't he?
I know, right? First Clifford.
I miss him.
Oh, truly.
I miss him. There's no one else like Charles Grodin.
However, I liked parts of the movie, but the movie as a whole was forgotten for a reason. And, Jake, you were so furious by the time we left there. We saw it early in the day, before noon.
Why was I mad?
You were so mad at how bad the movie was. We had originally planned to spend the whole day in Windsor, tool around town, go to Chinatown, do whatever. You were so furious, you wanted to just go immediately back home.
That's right.
So we were in Canada just long enough to see the movie, pop into the attached mall so I could get my Canadian version of Ginger Snaps 2, which is different than the domestic release of it. And then
French on the title, right?
Well,
on the front with the English, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, if I remember right, it's a reversible sleeve, and the outside is English, and then you reverse it, and it's French on the inside.
Oh.
It was that way for Ginger Snaps 2 and 3.
Oh.
But yeah, just popped in the mall long enough to grab that. Stopped by to the Slevin specifically so I could get my coffee crisp and my Big Turk bar and a bar of Macintosh toffee. And then
I'm surprised they let us bring that back into Michigan.
Oh no, you all day long you can.
There are places you can stick it too.
I do remember that movie being so bad that I raged.
You were furious.
And then I went and bought it, but I bought the special edition Blockbuster version.
No. It. I'm glad you brought that up. I'd forgotten about that, but it's fascinating. So you went to the store and you bought it because reasons. You were so mad about the movie, but you decided it was a good idea to buy it, and like the whole end of the movie, the last 10 minutes or so, is 100% different. And it's not like there's two cuts on the same disc like you see sometimes. It's not like it was a pack with both versions. It's not even like the original ending was in the deleted scenes. It was just gone. The movie tanked so bad in theaters, they recut the entire ending in the hopes that it would do better. It did not. But they were contractually obligated to release the original theatrical cut. Like, they had to. But it didn't say how. So they released it as a Blockbuster exclusive. The only way you could see the original theatrical cut was by renting it from Blockbuster. And I think you owned that version too, because you bought a used copy from a Blockbuster.
Yeah, I think I did. I do remember being very furious at the quality of the movie when we saw it in theaters. I think I was more angry at it when the ending was different. And having like no explanation for the ending being different. But speaking of movies, blockbuster movies, shall we tell the story of how I acquired 2001: A Space Odyssey?
It's not terribly exciting, but we absolutely can.
I think it's hilarious. I had never seen 2001: A Space Odyssey. There was a Blockbuster in Standale.
Yeah, picture this. It is 2005. No, it wasn't the weekend. It had to have been midweek because I don't think there was a single weekend you spent on campus during the school year. There was one.
There was one.
Oh, that's when you were like dying. You were too sick to have gone home.
No, yes and no. I was hurt or something, and I stayed there to play Kingdom Hearts.
That's right. But so it's some random weeknight. You're looking for something to do. You're like, I got an idea. Let's go to Blockbuster. Proceed with the story.
We walk into Blockbuster. We rent a copy of 2001: A Space Odyssey. We come back. I put it on my shelf. Never watch it. Did we watch it?
Well, we tried.
Did we start to watch it and then I fall asleep like 15 minutes into it?
As you are notorious for doing. At least you were at the time.
I am still. If I am not upright while watching a movie, I will fall asleep.
And yes, it lived on your shelf for the next
10 years. I know I had it. Well, I still have it.
And they sent you a letter about returning it. And they sent you another letter about returning it, and they sent you a letter about the late fees, and then the joke's on them because they're out of business now.
I was going to say, they never came after me legally about it.
They're bankrupt all because you didn't pay the late fees.
That is what I choose to believe.
But you've seen it now.
Yes, in a better format.
That is a truth fact.
Oh,
Because
that's right. Redford Theater.
Did you not? You didn't go with us.
No.
you saw the 70mm print at Detroit's historic Redford Theater.
That's a nice
Have I ever taken you there?
Yeah, we saw The General.
That's right.
With him.
I know.
And to tie back to an earlier conversation, that's where I also saw a 70mm blow-up print of Boogie Nights.
That's also where you saw a 35mm print of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Just recently.
Man, you got to see that prosthetic that big on the screen. You got it made.
Oh, yeah.
In the shade, made from the prosthetic.
Which was made by the same special effects team that went on to do all of the effects in the Ginger Snaps movies.
Look at that. It all connects.
On the commentary to Ginger Snaps 3, one of the graphic artists referenced having kept that prop as a souvenir, and it had degraded in a rather horrific fashion.
Like a terrifying Hylian sword from Tears of the Kingdom.
Like the other props that have degraded. Like, did either of you see that article a year or two ago about, you remember the old, well, you're way too young to remember, but the old McDonald's ad campaign with Mac Tonight, the giant moon
Yes,
face
I
guy?
actually, yeah, I know what that is.
Dude, there's that article a year or two ago where they found that prop head in storage and like were, I think, trying to restore it, but it was horrifying in the form in which they found it.
Yeah, I actually do know what you're talking about. I don't remember it then, but
Say-
I'm aware of it since
Say what
then.
it is again.
It's like it's during the period when they were trying to market McDonald's as also being for adults, not just for children. So it's like, you can get Mac Tonight, and it's like a character at a piano, sort of a lounge singer sort of deal.
Yeah, I have McDonald's toys that are that character.
Okay, there you go.
Ew.
Well, you should see him once they found him in the warehouse.
Oh, it's-
That I knew the ideas from Five Nights at Freddy's came from somewhere. Probably that.
I know what games are.
All right. Anybody else got anything to say about the penultimate episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off?
Nope, I'm ready to wrap it up.
All right. Well, come on back next week. We'll be finishing off the series. We'll talk about the last episode. We'll probably talk about some final thoughts about it.
Yeah.
What's it called? It's the 8th episode.
The World versus Scott Pilgrim.
All right. Until then, you can check us out on all major social media platforms. Jared, what are they specifically?
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, The Funny TikTok, and Twitter. Take that must. And you can also listen to us. I lost it on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and hey, if it's YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, ring that notification bell. Make sure you check us out and rate us on all those apps, and swing by our groovy website.
And other than that, fellas, let's take off.